So, yes, there is a very flourishing TTRPG space in Japan. That is Japan only.
Wow. So these are going to be one-on-one. It's a game master and a player with more intimate setting than a 3 or 4 person party. Let's make it. Oh, and we do need to make a distinction here. The version that is being released there is not the same as the Steam-forged Dark Souls game that we got here in the US. That was off.
That was really not very good by Steamforge.
The game will be released in Japanese early spring of 2023. So if you know Japanese, you get to go play it, and the rest of us don't, which is sad.
Yeah, it is kind of sad. But there is as I was doing a little research on this story, I realized that there is a very, very flourishing TTRPG space in Japan that is Japan and in China as well that are only in Chinese and Japanese. They do not translate them like pretty much ever. So the likelihood of us ever getting this TTRPG in English is very low unless a third party translates it.
Interesting factoid. The most popular TTRPG of the ones that we know and have in that area is actually Call of Cthulhu.
That makes sense because they're very into like that horror.
That is the most popular of the main TTRPGs that we have in Japan and that area, in China and Japan and all that stuff. So.
Cool. All right, so our next story is TSR seems to have made another questionable choice in the release of their new Star Frontiers New Genesis playtest. Bringing a cry of racism from TTRPG fans. The playtest was leaked by the Twitter account No Hate in Gaming on July 19th, 2022. And in it, there was a page that we have descriptions of races and sub-races for the game, including one called Negro sub-race, described as tall, thick-bodied, dark-skinned, as well as a Nordic race, described as tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. This has created waves within the TTRPG community, understandably, and the current iteration, just as a clarification, the current iteration of TSR is not the company that created D&D. This is a company that purchased the copyrights for the name and all of its materials. Well, not all of it, but some of its materials when it came up for purchase a few years ago. So this is a different company under the same name, but this is not the first time that they have had kind of calls for racism or sexism within the TTRPG space. And this is still in playtesting mode, so perhaps this was a mistake made.
But the thing is,
TSR, WTF?
It's the Negro subrace, who, by the way, has a low intelligence.
I didn't
by default, and the Nordic race all have higher stats.
Yeah, like Max is plus 13 and Max for the it's Negro subrace is plus 9. Like
I don't know what the thought process is, and TSR has not made any comment.
No, they have said nothing about it, so we will have to wait and see. This did come out on the 19th though, so this came out like a week ago. So you'd think that by this point they would have said anything, but so far they have not.
Nope. In other news, the first Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves has trailer has dropped with last weekend's San Diego Comic-Con.
Woohoo!
It was met with mixed reviews from the TTRPG community. But by and large, the general populace are very excited to see the upcoming movie. The D&D community have pointed out some hiccups in the rules of D&D, such, for example, the druids cannot turn into an owlbear as shown in the trailer, but many others have made the fans extremely excited. The multiple dragons, the displacer beast, the gelatinous cube, and of course the mimic. We will need to wait for the movie, however, until March of 2023, and we will be talking about all of these pieces today in the main discussion point for
this week. We are very excited. I'm excited for this movie. I thought the trailer was awesome. In a final bit of D&D movie news, the new trailer released this weekend was also the release of the first official movie poster. As soon as it hit the internet, people began to analyze it and rip it apart and found a major gaffe in the design. One creature on the poster was the creature art from Pathfinder 2nd Edition Bestiary 2, The Intellect Devourer. Now, this creature is in the D&D Bestiary, or Bestiary, depending on how you say it. However, the art that they pulled for the poster was specifically from Pathfinder 2nd Edition. The small mishap made it through social media extremely fast, like freaking wildfire. And Paramount has pulled the poster, it looks like, the same day for seemingly due to irregularities with the art. I said that weird. Irregularities with the art. According to Liam Noland, who is a writer for Marvel, and it is kind of a question. Oh, I wonder what those irregularities were. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does a bunch of stuff in the Nerdverse, as a reporter. But yeah, that was a very interesting thing to see. The poster was made by Boss Logic, who also did the fairly famous image now of Henry Cavill, loving up his computer.
Oh, yes.
If you remember those images. But yeah, so that was fun. And I think it is funny that it has been pulled down. However, this is now going to be a collector's item for anyone that was at San Diego Comic-Con.
I picked one up.
Hold on to your poster, because you will be able to sell that for a ungodly amount of money soon.
I know the Pathfinder community, no one was mad about this. They were
it was like, hello.
I loved one comment that I saw online about this. It was like, they're using the Pathfinder, art in the D&D poster. And the guy's like, well, yeah, this makes perfect sense. I borrow stuff from Pathfinder for my D&D games all the time. And I was like, you know what?
Oh, that's bad.
That's a perfect representation right there.
That's really funny.
And on final note, speaking of Pathfinder 2nd Edition's Dark Archive is releasing on Wednesday the 27th. This is a really cool one. It's very occult. They even have mechanics and things like that for building your cult. So if you're a storyteller and want a little bit more guidance in that, they've got creating cryptids, which is like cryptozoology creatures. It's taking a regular...
It's Bigfoot.
Yeah, you can make Bigfoot and different things.
Or the Chupacabra.
Yes, all those different ones.
Or the skunk ape.
Which is Bigfoot.
Or the Beast of Brer Road.
You can guess what Hayley likes to listen to in her spare time.
I know a lot about that.
It also has the new classes of the Thaumaturge and the Psychic. So that comes out on the 27th. In 2 days. Go check it out at your local game store where it will be available. Generally, they make it pretty quick.
MSRP is normally $60 for the hardbacks, and then
wasn't it 25?
25 for the pocket versions, I believe. But the pocket versions are normally released really soon after the hardbacks are.
You can also get them generally on Paizo's website in PDF for $19.99.
Yes, you can. We don't have any community news for the week. If you have anything that you would like to share with our community, please email me at partyof2rpglive@gmail.com, or you can get in contact with us going to our Twitter at partyof2rpglive, where we are super duper interactive. And messing with Sasquatch. Seriously, though, Sasquatch, we should have a discussion.
And that's all for TTRPG News today, Monday, July 25th.